Welcome into this very special edition of ACAP Today for the week of May 30th, 2022. I'm Jason Parent into the first week of June here. The reason this special edition is so special is because it is not only the end of Community Action Month and the continuing celebration of ACAP's 50th anniversary, but this is the week, actually on June 1st, that ACAP was born in 1972. And it was born as the result of a merger between the St. John Valley Community Action Council and the Central Aroostook Community Action Program that formed ACAP back on June 1st, 1972, when those two entities officially merged. Now, community action has been in Aroostook County for longer than that. It dates back to the mid-60s, but we're pleased to celebrate 50 years of ACAP with you. And a big party is planned for this week, and I'll have more information on that for you in just a moment. But first, on this week's program, as our special guests on this 50th anniversary episode are, of course, Jamie Chandler, our Chief Operating Officer, who you've seen on this program before. But Jamie will be joined by Denise Harlow, who's the Executive Director or the CEO at the National Community Action Partnership. That's out of Washington, D.C., but covers and works with community action agencies 1,100 strong across this country. So we're very grateful for the time that she's dedicated in her very busy schedule to spend a half hour with us on this program today. And of course, we'll also be joined by Megan Hannan, who is Denise's counterpart at our state association, Maine Community Action Partnership. Both Denise and Megan and Jamie will talk about things that are happening on the national, state, and local level here in the county and why community action is so important and probably more important now than ever. That's coming up in our feature interview here on ACAP today. But before we get to that feature interview, we're pleased to share with you the news and information that you can use for this special Community Action Month episode of ACAP Today. And we begin, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, with that birthday party. We are celebrating. So we've been in Fort Kent, Madawaska, Caribou, and Holton over the past few Wednesdays, and we're in Presque Isle this Wednesday, June 1st, on the date of our anniversary. We'll be in our parking lot at 771 Main Street, our customer service center near the Walmart facility in Presque Isle, between 2 and 4 in the afternoon with a huge celebration. All of our programs will be represented. We'll have some fun times, some great giveaways, and of course, what birthday party would be complete without cake and ice cream? So we'll be serving cake and, of course, ice cream. If it's ice cream in Aroostook County, it's got to be Holton Farms Dairy ice cream. We'll be serving that right at our 771 Main Street facility, concluding our sort of weekly visits to all of our different locations or our larger locations across Aroostook County. So please join us for some 50th anniversary birthday cake and ice cream and some great information and great giveaways this Wednesday, June 1st, between 2 and 4 p.m. at our 771 Main Street Presque Isle location near Walmart. We want to also remind folks that we've been talking about this again, and I keep saying it, this is the ideal time, the spring into the early summer season, to apply for the Home Energy Assistance Program. We are finished and concluded our HEAP in Your Hometown series, but HEAP is always in your hometown because we're accessible. We're just a phone call away. So if you're looking ahead to the fall season and wondering, gosh, with the price of oil as high as it is, how am I ever going to be able to afford to put fuel in my tank? Well, the Home Energy Assistance Program is not intended to put fuel in your tank for the entire winter, but it is intended to help. If you see that your income levels are close to matching what you're seeing there on your screen for your household size, and sometimes that may be your annual household budget, so the 12-month column, but at other times it may mean that if you just looking back on just this month or the last 3 months, your income has dipped for whatever reason, please do consider applying. If you apply during the month or with a month that your income was down in the previous month, you will be eligible just with that one look back. So even if your income goes up, if you're a seasonal worker or whatever, it's worth trying and applying for this program. We've served hundreds more customers this year, and we know that there are probably thousands more Aroostook County households that are potentially eligible for this program still out there. Now is a great time to apply. Give us a call, 768-3053. This income eligibility guideline is also available on our website, so we encourage you to take a look at that under the heating program on our website. This is also a great time to consider getting an application in for our Head Start and Early Head Start programs. Now, through Early Head Start, we serve pregnant moms all the way to their children up to the age of 5 years old. We are encouraging folks to both apply online or give us a call at 554-4176 to get that process started. We have early Head Start programs available in Caribou, Holton, and Presque Isle. Head Start is available in Caribou, Dyer Brook, Fort Kent, Holton, and Presque Isle. And then we have pre-K partnerships, including a couple of new ones that are coming. We have those existing in Caribou, Dyer Brook, Fort Kent, and Presque Isle, and then new this year, Limestone and Van Buren. And I should say, actually, our Caribou initiative is new. It's a great program and really allows you to engage your entire family. So it's more than just services for the child. We certainly do encourage you to consider applying for our Head Start and Early Head Start program if you have a toddler or a newborn in your house. And we are reminding you as well that we are looking for youth to participate in our youth career counseling program. This is great for children or youth age 16 through 24. If you're currently not attending school, this program is especially for you, whether you're in the college age category and you're not attending a college, a post-secondary educational institution. This is a great way to help get you into the workforce. We can help pay for transportation, educational advancement opportunities. We can help you learn what employers are looking for, help pay for childcare, job training opportunities, on-the-job training opportunities. We pay for all those, as well as cover letter and resume building and helping to support if you need uniforms or clothing or other financial supports to get to and from the workplace. Please give us a call. You can email Kathy Williams at kwilliams@acap-me.org or call us at 554-4137. Cash Main, we're continuing to work as a partner with Cash Main in providing the support to individuals, particularly seniors in our community, who for whatever reason, mostly because of income, have not filed their state income taxes for 2021, so they haven't filed in this recent tax filing season, which would make them ineligible to receive the $850 relief payment from the state of Maine, because that's one of the stipulations for this relief payment. We had hoped to serve hopefully right around 200 seniors in Aroostook County. We've had almost 800 seniors that have called us, seniors and others that have called us to get appointments for this tax relief. So we're encouraging any seniors out there or others who did not file state of Maine or federal income taxes. We're going to help you with the state of Maine taxes so that you can access this $850 relief check. Now, good news is not only are many of the people that we're processing eligible for the $850 relief check, but many are also receiving another homestead exemption tax or other tax rebates that are coming back to them above and beyond the $850. For an appointment, give us a call at 764-3721. We would love to help you with this process and help you access that $850 relief payment. We understand expenses are very high right now for everyone, and our low-income households in particular could certainly use this $850 relief check. The Maine Home Assistance Fund program, as we've been saying, has been live and active for a few weeks now. This is eligible to people who own or occupy a 1 to 4 unit dwelling in the state of Maine. They have to own it. This is not for renters. This is for homeowners. This is the sort of sister program to the rental assistance program, but very different than that program. You must have experienced the COVID-19 related financial hardship after the 21st of January 2022, and that hardship should be a material reduction in income or a material increase in expenses. And your household is below certain income levels, and it depends on what part of the state you're in. We're really encouraging folks to go to the maine.gov/homeassist or give us a call here at 764-3721. We can help you through that application process. We are not administering this program locally. We are working with individuals from this region who are applying for this program to provide assistance in that application process. And then if the application is approved at the state level, we are working with folks to get them the access to the assistance from there. So it's very important that you go through that process. If you can't get online yourself, you can call us at 764-3721, and our team, Noah and Dawn, working on this will help you get your application in for homeowner assistance through the Pandemic Homeowner Assistance Fund. It does provide up to $25,000 per eligible household. It's funded through the U.S. Department of Treasury. It can help pay individuals. You have to be behind on your mortgage, housing, property tax, or utility payments in order to qualify for this program. So please be aware of that as well. The emergency rental assistance program has gone through some changes here. The income eligibility guidelines that you're seeing here on the screen have changed as a result of the changes that Maine Housing has implemented to this program. We are encouraging folks to go to the website, mainrentrelief.com, to read about the latest changes to this program. This will likely impact a number of households in Aroostook County currently in the program. There are a number of households that are also expiring in the program, so please do stay in touch with us on this program. If you're currently in the program, we really encourage you to go to the website, mainrentrelief.com, to see what those changes in the program are, and give us a call here if you have any questions. You usually have somebody who's working on your case, so if you have any questions about your rent relief assistance, please do call the individual who you are working with and who you've been assigned in this program. COVID-19 and levels in Maine across much of the state remain high, including here in Aroostook County, which is where we're recommending anyone age 5 or older eligible to receive a vaccine, please do so, or that booster. We just had a wonderful program last week with Maine Community Action Partnership about the coming availability of pediatric vaccines for children under the age of 5. We provided that link on our Facebook page for folks, so we'll be providing that link on our Facebook folks for individuals to watch that forum. It was a very informative forum. So please do consider getting yourself vaccinated or boosted if you're over the age of 12. The Department of Health and Human Services is also saying, hey, don't let not being able to get to the appointment because of a transportation challenge prevent you from getting that vaccination or booster. And they are as such providing free rides. You can call 1-855-608-5172 to reserve a ride. They are asking that you call about 48 hours in advance to book that ride and the travel for that. A third round of free at-home COVID-19 tests has been announced by the federal government. Those can be accessed at covidtest.gov. Every home in the US is eligible to order 3 of the 4 sets of free at-home tests now. So if you've done it once, you've done it twice, the website has recycled. It'll allow you to do it a third time. These usually ship in 7 to 12 days. There's also the accesscovidtest.org site that some households may still be eligible for. I encourage you, if you need tests, to check out both of these resources and get those free tests sent right to your household. And also COVID community supports continue to be offered through this agency. If you are asked to isolate or quarantine as a result of a diagnosis or a close contact, please do give us a call at 764-3721, or better yet, if you want to go right online on the Department of Health and Human Services website with things related to COVID, you can fill out your form right there, and we will work to get groceries or other items out to you that you intend and need to stay home safely to quarantine or isolate. And lastly, if there's something that you are in need of and you're struggling or challenged right now, at this point, please reach out to us. We have some navigators that are standing by and are able to help you. You can reach them or us directly at 764-3721. They can help you access programs both within our agency and those of other community service providers who are providing great services across Aroostook County to community members as well. And that's this week's news and information you can use. And as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, for our feature interview this week, we're pleased to be joined by 3 community action leaders at the national, state, and right here in Aroostook County level. First, Denise Harlow is the president and CEO of the National Community Action Partnership. Denise, so great to have you back on the program.
Thanks for having me. Always good to be here.
And Megan Hannan is, of course, the executive director of the Maine Community Action Partnership. She's returning to the broadcast as well. I think the last time we had both of these ladies on was a year ago when we sort of visited during Community Action Month then. Megan, it's great to have you back as well.
Great to be here. Thank you.
And a repeat offender, or repeat guest, as we call her, Jamie Chandler, ACAP's COO, to bring some of the local perspective into the significance of community action and the work that we do each and every day. Jamie, welcome back.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, Denise, let's start with you at the national level. This is the very tail end of Community Action Month, and it's been a great month and a great month to call attention to the work that we do nationally. Why is it so significant that we pause during the month? Actually, we don't pause because we never stop in community action, but why is it so important that we recognize Community Action Month?
Community Action Month is really just such a great opportunity to take a moment to really say community action across this country is making a difference in families, in communities, within systems, every day. And what's that saying? Imagine what can happen in the world if no one cares who gets the credit. And that's where community action, I think, truly sits. Everyone is working so hard every day to ensure that families and communities can thrive that we don't always say thank you. And May is a good chance for us to step back and say thank you to our board members, to our staff, to our volunteers, to our donors, to say thank you. And it's also a chance to say, hey, these are our accomplishments. We just had Impact Wednesday, for instance, and it's a chance to, as a nation, elevate the visibility of this just vitally important network. And it's a chance to kind of just breathe a little bit with one another and say, yes, this is important work, this is good work, and we are so lucky to be able to do this work every day.
Yes, thank you, Denise. Now, Megan, as you can certainly attest, as you have 10 children across the state of Maine and our 10 community action agencies, we're all a bit different. And certainly Denise has 1,000 of them or more than 1,000 of them across the country. But sometimes those differences really are very unique and help local communities and their action agencies, their community action agencies, to truly make a difference. How is your work in sort of bringing the state community action agencies across Maine coming together in this Community Action Month and sharing the significance of the movement across the state?
That the beauty of community action is that we have things that we all do together, and then we have things that are very much community based and community focused. So even as there are some things that are happening, say, along the coast of Maine that are different from the inside of Maine in the mountains or up in the rim counties in Aroostook, we have things that carry us all the way across. And what is most important about that is how deeply we care for our communities and work with people in the communities where they are and where they need us the most. So right now, we like to think that COVID is almost over, that we're getting onto our lives, but there are still people who are suffering. The impact, the financial, the economic impact of COVID is not going to be over anytime soon. We've seen this again and again after the recession of 2008. There are some families who have never really gotten back to where they were or have the wealth that they had before. It never came back again. And so right now, the good news is we're all working on the homeowner assistance program, which took a little while to get going, but now it's there so that people won't be thrown out of their homes. We know that that's so important. The rental program is continuing, and we're hoping that as the job market tightens up, as people are getting back to work, that we're not going to have to continue that program forever. In fact, we know we can't continue these programs forever, but that we're hoping to make a soft landing for people.
Jamie Chandler, Community Action Month here in Aroostook County has been especially significant this month for a number of reasons. And it's also been one where we've really put those two concepts, community and action, really into action. Talk about your reflections as we're in the waning days of the month on our Community Action Month activities here in the county.
Absolutely. So the fact that Aroostook County is a very large county is not strange for the people who live here. And I can say that we have been from the tip top of the county all the way down to the southern regions during the month of May to not only go and serve the members of the community in the communities in which they live, work, and play, but also to celebrate who we are as a community action agency, and to be able to share with our community our successes, to be able to share with our community their challenges, and to be able to work with them to get them connected to the number of services that either we offer here internally at ACAP or with other community partners who may be able to assist them to help meet their needs. One of the most meaningful experiences over the last month as we've been traveling is, being able to meet particularly with seniors who have been on a fixed income, who have been experiencing some extreme challenges with being able to pay their electricity bills, and getting them connected to the $850 relief checks, and in some cases, additional funding from filing their 2021 taxes. And just the feeling of relief for those individuals that we have been meeting with and assisting and getting, and knowing that they're going to get some additional funding to help them to, relieve some of those stresses that they're feeling during this very difficult time. So it's been a great month and an exciting month. And like I said, definitely as a community action leader, a connect to purpose opportunity for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Jamie. I think my Community Action Month moment of the month was up in our Madawaska office when you and I, or actually you were in Caribou with us, but Sherry and I were doing actual processing, doing those tax returns for the seniors. And I was doing one in French because the couple felt more comfortable speaking in French. And they were in tears when they walked out because not only were they getting the $850 relief check that the state legislature and governor passed, but they were getting $180 return beyond that. And some folks have gotten thousands of dollars. And I said to the couple on the way out that they could maybe go have chicken stew employees at Dolly's restaurant. And they said, gosh, I don't remember the last time we've gone to eat out. Like, and these are very real struggles of people who have worked their entire lives. The woman's Social Security check was very meager. And she said, I worked my entire life, but they never paid into the Social Security system in all the jobs that I've held, or most of the jobs that I've held. And you could just feel the sense of relief through those relief payments that they were able to access because they had gotten their state taxes filed through our agency. So you're absolutely right. That was the community action moment. Denise, as you hear this work and what's happening at the local level as it's happening across this country by community action agencies, what's your connect to purpose moment in the work that community action is doing, and what are you reflecting on at this time as we sort of transition? We're still in the midst of this pandemic that I don't think folks understood that we would be in for this long, but this is really a seminal moment for community action agencies.
I am lucky enough to be able to talk with community action agency folks every day and get to see the success stories, just like the couple you talked about, receiving a tax return, and that you were able to meet them in the language that they were most comfortable with. That kind of experience happens in community action offices all over this country. And so being lucky enough to be able to hear those success stories where that real connection happens. I love that phrase, connect to purpose. I just think that that is such a great frame for what all community action employees and staff do across this country every day. We see certainly in this moment of high inflation, of challenges that are continuing on with the pandemic not ending by any stretch. We've seen recent violence across this country impact communities in very deep ways. And then seeing the hope that community action brings to community and brings to their service, that brings to their teams to support. It's those moments that say, this work matters so, so deeply. And it's different in every corner of America. But what's not different is that promise of community action where we talk about caring about the entire community. That is our purpose. And that's my connection to purpose, is that we do care about the entire community. And we are lucky enough, again, to do this work. It is just an amazing blessing.
Megan, Hannan, a lot of the work that has been done over the last 2+ years related to the pandemic has been focused on getting that much needed and sort of emergency support to individuals who were facing hardships that many of them had never had to face before and that seemed unimaginable in early March of 2020. But really, while that work has been happening at the local level and across the country and state of Maine with community action agencies, there's also been a whole other level of work that's really brought forward the mission-driven work of community action agencies. And I think of your work here in the state of Maine, your work, Sue Powers, that's working with you from ACAP, that's doing some statewide work around our statewide whole family initiatives and things of that nature that are really looking to mobilize individuals and families and really serve the purpose that community action agencies were intended to. Talk about that work and how that's evolving.
Sure, that's such exciting work that we are doing, and it's so exciting that everybody has really committed to doing this work. Through the whole families approach, we are able to work with families where they are with what they need, from their smallest children to their grandparents, everyone in between. And if there's a service they need, great, we can do that service. And also, we're going to help them get into school if there's school that they need, help them find a job if it's a job that they need. We are looking at not just what's in front of us here and now, but the larger role of communities and where people are. It's called social determinants of health, but really You need to have access to good food every day. You need to have a safe, warm place to sleep each night in order to be healthy, to be physically healthy, to be emotionally healthy, and to be economically healthy. And so looking at things from all of this, we're also doing a lot of work on equity and looking at things through an equity lens. And here we mean equity in a great big way. We want people to be economically more equal. We want people to feel welcome and included, whether they are from an African country coming here new, or some of our Eastern Europeans coming to Maine soon, but also just from different sides of the state. That everybody is really being lifted with the boats, and so the more universal work we're doing around that, sure, we're still helping people with services that they need. We're helping people with the programs they need, but looking at it as a much bigger picture, which is so exciting and really makes a difference for families in Maine. And that's what we really love to see at the end of, a period of time with a family.
And Jamie Chandler, to your credit and the wonderful team that you lead here at ACAP, that's really the focus and drive of the work that you've been doing for a handful of years now. And there really have been some great results that have come from your work.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say that our teams of coaches and navigators work every single day with the families that we have that come to our doors to assess what their needs are. And we assess our families across a minimum of 7 and up to 22 different domains to really truly gear their plans in order for them to help them to reach their goals. And our staff work in hand. We show the different pathways that a family may be able to take in order to help them to achieve their goals. And in many cases, the goals that a number of the families that we're currently working with are working toward are, bachelor degrees or associate degrees, or perhaps they are looking to save some money for a down payment to purchase their own homes. So we have a number of those sorts of plans, and our staff are trained to really listen to what it is that our customers are wanting for themselves, really understanding who they are as families, and working with them to access the necessary resources in order for them to achieve those goals and really work toward a successful life, and and hopefully not needing to access community action services in the future. So.
And Denise Harlow, the transformation and the transition that we've been able to make as an agency to be able to really do that meaningful work, I really credit, and I know Jamie does as well, credits to our ability to link with your organization and what we've learned and what we've shared through your organization with other CAPs across the country, from the very first management training and leadership conference that I attended in New Orleans in January of 2016, where I heard the folks at Garrett County Community Action talk about the dream that I had for this agency and realized that that's what it was. To the training and technical assistance that we've received since then. And I think most importantly, the voice that you and your team bring to the table as it relates to advocating for these innovative entrepreneurial practices with community action agencies. How is that work going, and what does the outlook look for that kind of work, as we're sort of all wondering how we move forward in this very challenging environment?
Well, we appreciate you coming to the table and working with us, right? So it takes the dedication and leadership of local organizations to say, yes, we want to be part of this shift, this transformation of, you can call it a human services network, you can call it a human services ecosystem, you can use whatever kind of term of art you want to do. But as Jamie said, right, it's that whole family approach. Right? You put the whole family at the center of that work. And we've been using the framing along with the Kresge Foundation and others, talking about social and economic mobility. And so you're right, back in 2016, we had a few CAPs, right? We were able to hold up. Garrett County in Maryland is certainly a longstanding example of 2-gen or whole family. And now through your investment and a lot of other CAP agencies across this country, we have a number of community action agencies who have truly embraced whole family. And we see we see this as the future of human services and the service to and for families. And Maine leads in a lot of different ways in embedding this concept into legislation, into policy, into investments by state and local governments, right? It takes some resources to truly help local human service and community action agencies blend and braid funding, to tear down silos that sometimes put up barriers, because it is about that helping a family move along a path, move along and continue. And I think everyone here was talking about for the family's goals, because that's truly what matters. Each family has a different set of goals and objectives they want to set for themselves. And serving the family is what I think the intent of all of these human services investments and supports are intended to do. And to see local agencies be able to say, we're committed to actually putting that into practice. And, you know, the think tanks and everybody else can think about it and study it, but to do it, it's messy, it's complicated, and it takes focused leadership. And that's what Aroostook has been able to do, what ACAP has been able to do, and Community Action, I think, has a way to now take this information and research and understanding about what works and translate it to other organizations and other systems across this country. So I think the future is bright to take the leadership and understanding of what Community Action has led on and to truly transform our human services system in really creative ways.
And Megan Hannan, your work in relation to this has really been to help community action agencies in Maine pave the way for this to happen. And a lot of that work is really focused on your advocacy efforts at the state legislature and with our federal delegation here in Maine. And I know that we've had a number of successes here. And if you want to talk about some of those right now, I think that would be a great opportunity to share that some of the work that we're able to do here in the local community is directly connected with good, sound policy.
Sure. Well, the exciting thing that pops right to mind is the fact that we were able to secure $2 million from Congress in order to continue this work, to really build capacity throughout the system, throughout our 10 organizations, and continue to experiment, continue to learn, and continue to push how much we can really do. So that is wonderful. We were able to secure some funds from the state, and since then have actually seen people at the state, at the legislators, but also that are working for the state government say, oh, this actually makes sense. And aren't there some silos we could break down here and here and here? And I know the Denise's organization did a little book about how we can help our friends in government realize that there are some silos that we don't need to have there, that we can actually have better outcomes when we work together and when we pull these funding sources together. So working with folks about that right now has been a really exciting thing that I've been working on. And, working with our partners. We don't have to do this ourselves. We do have other partners who are very interested in the same outcomes that we are interested in. And so figuring out where those things work best and how we can make sure that people have everything they need, and that they're also have other things. It doesn't have to be all about us. So there are a lot of things going on. I think with the next legislature that's going to be coming in December of this year, we're going to have a lot of opportunities to make a difference in how we look at this issue and how we find some real good partnerships to address poverty, but not just poverty, families, and helping families to do, as you said, Denise, social and economic moving better.
Jamie Chandler, to that point, and we'll wrap this part of the conversation up before we get into the last question for the panel. The question I have for you on this topic is, you have been in the room when we have had leaders, Senator Collins, Senator King, Commissioner Jean Lambrou with the Department of Health and Human Services here in Maine, or even monthly when we have Senate President Jackson and Senator Stewart sitting at our board of directors, seeing the results of this work, seeing the data that backs up the efficacy of this work when we're talking about measuring families on 22 different domains, or we're looking at the earned income that has gone up while the supports from government programs have gone down from families that we've worked with. What have you seen and heard and responded to when those conversations happen?
Absolutely. I think that probably, Jason, in reflecting on many of those visits with those decision makers and lawmakers, is when we are able to demonstrate as an organization and share the stories of the families that we have served. And we've actually, in some cases, had those families sitting at the table with those lawmakers and those decision makers. And to be able to say, not only are we an organization that supports this, but we actually talking about the economic change, we in many cases have hired the families that we have been working with. We have a few employees currently that have been part of our whole family approach, and are probably when they speak about the work that we at ACAP and that community action does, really is able to tell the story about how we're changing lives. And so I would say that the folks, the audience really listens and engages when we have the voice of our consumers, and in some cases our consumers that have either become employees, or in other cases we have had employees that have, or excuse me, some customers who have become board members or have been representatives on statewide parent advisory groups. And so being able to show the evolution of a family when you're wrapping those comprehensive services around them, and saying, I entered ACAP on my darkest day, and look at me now, look at what this support and this approach have resulted in, and how it has impacted me and my family. And so I think that my takeaway from all of those conversations is how impactful our customers are in sharing how this approach is different than any other approach, and how this is the one that's worked.
Oh, great. Thank you, Jamie. And so for the last question I have for the three of you today is that, as you know, this is ACAP's 50th anniversary year, and this is specifically the week. So on June 1st, we'll mark 50 years to the date that the St. John Valley Community Action Council and Central Aroostook Community Action Program merged to form ACAP on, again, June 1st of 1972. So we're holding a birthday party on June 1st. We're going to have ice cream and cake and all of our programs and services and engaging the community in our parking lot, in the office in Presque Isle, outside of our main customer service center in the county. Because of COVID, we're still a little high. We are doing the celebration outside, and there will be no candles on the cake to blow out for the birthday. But if we had you here, Denise, and we would love to have you here, would be asking you to blow out the candles on that cake in an ideal world. What would be your wish for ACAP's next 50 years?
Well, happy birthday. That's wonderful news. Wish I could be there. It sounds like a really great event, and 50 years is a good time to also pause and celebrate and recognize. For the future of ACAP, I wish for you the chance and opportunity to continue to help families thrive. There's one thing about helping families in terms of stability, but community action is all about movement. It is about helping families achieve their success. And you are well grounded, as we've talked about here today, in that whole family concept of the blending and braiding. You understand local policymakers, and then as well as the individual family. So I think it's finding new opportunities for keeping up with technology and employment strategies and what's going to be working in the broader economy, and bringing them directly to the families that you're serving. And I have no doubt that ACAP will continue to be a leader and continue to be a support for families as they determine their destiny for the future.
All right, Megan, Hannan, you are a little closer to us, and we are hoping to get you up at some point during this 50th anniversary year. So your birthday wish for us.
Well, again, also happy birthday. And having lived in the county, I know that so much of the economy there depends on the land and what there is between farming, hunting, your snowmobile culture, your outdoors culture. And for better or worse, things are going to be changing in the next 50 years. So I hope that ACAP and all of your customers are watching what is happening, watching how the potatoes are growing differently, or the broccoli, and how, these ticks killing the moose. It's just, heartbreaking. And so, watching how climate change is affecting people who are living there, and trying to keep ahead of it and trying to help families to keep ahead of it as things change over time.
Jamie Chandler, she mentioned agriculture is one of the staples. And the day before our birthday bash, on the eve of our birthday bash, we are doing one of our signature Connect to Purpose, again, using that term, activities of the year for the 50th anniversary. Just give folks a quick briefing and then your birthday wish for ACAP about the 50th anniversary potato plot project.
Sure. So on Tuesday, May 31st, we are going to be in St. John Plantation, and we have a potato plot that we are going to have planted. We actually are going to have the children from our Head Start Center in Fort Kent join us for that event. And so the community is invited, as well as press, to join us for that morning of ceremonial planting. And we're really excited because it goes beyond just the planting of the 1 acre field. We will be having an art contest, and we have a local vendor, Northeast Packaging, who is going to be donating potato bags, and we'll have an art contest to design what that potato bag looks like. And then in the fall, I believe our tentative harvest date is September 16th. And we will be harvesting the potatoes, and the potatoes will be bagged up and donated to local community cupboards and food pantries all across Aroostook County. So we're very excited about our ceremonial plot and what that will mean for food security here in Aroostook County. Also, just an opportunity to share our farming culture with the community is also a huge benefit, as it's something that's near. As you think about 50 years, I mean, farming in Aroostook County has been here for hundreds of years, but something that is certainly a tradition to be celebrated.
Yeah, we thank the farmer for donating that field of potatoes and taking care of them all summer for us until we're ready to harvest them by hand. By the way, we're going to have the sort of Aroostook County traditional hand picking of potatoes and invite the community in to come and do that with us. So it's been a well-received project, and we're looking forward to kicking it off on Tuesday morning with our full team. And I didn't get your birthday wish.
Yeah, so I think if I had a wish for the next 50 years, going along with what Denise and Megan were talking about, as we are going to be going through a lot of changes, and we know that as the last 50 years have changed significantly. I guess my wish is that although we move and grow with the times, that we never forget the roots that community action was built upon. And so I feel like our ACAP and community action in Aroostook County holds on to those roots and really lives by that promise that we are helping people and changing lives. And so despite the changes and the innovations and and all of those things that we know will be happening in the next 50 years, holding on to those roots and celebrating those as well is my wish.
Right, Jamie Chandler, Denise Harlow, and Megan Hannan, I thank you so much for joining me. I'm very proud and pleased to stand shoulder to shoulder with you as wonderful leaders in the community action movement across this country, state, and right here in our own Aroostook County. It's a pleasure working with you, and I know that you're all very committed to the cause and to advancing the work that we all do. So thank you so much for joining me. Before we leave all of you out there today, as we do at each point in this broadcast, if you heard about the community action movement today and would like to consider joining us, we have current openings across the county and would love to have your application come in. Please visit acap-me.org and learn more about these opportunities and how you can apply. And lastly, as we do at each point in this broadcast, we share with you our photo of the week. And as we've been doing all year during the 50th anniversary, we are doing throwback photos of the week. So we throw it back to the Maine Potato Blossom Festival. 25 years ago, we go back to the ACAP birthday cake. We'll be serving a real cake, not that cake, a real cake in our parking lot this coming Wednesday. So please do join us from 2 to 4 for our birthday party there. But this was our 25th anniversary float, that giant birthday cake in the Maine Potato Potato Blossom Festival Parade there. I recognize a couple of folks and a puppy there. Anyway, we really want to thank you, the community, because you're part of what makes ACAP special and has made us work for the last 50 years, because we're here to serve you. So with that, we'll see you on Wednesday in our parking lot at 771 Main Street in Presque Isle. And we'll see you next week for another edition of ACAP Today. Have a great week, everyone.